What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Classic Chronicles. I hope everybody enjoyed their weekend and is ready to conquer the week that is. Oh man, so yeah, let's just get right into it on today's vlog. We're going to talk about WWE Elimination Chamber. So the premium live event went down this past Saturday night in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Oh man, hometown of several WWE superstars. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, which we'll get to a little bit later in the vlog. But yeah, let's break down the rest of the show first because that was the main event. But as for the rest of the show, in the opening contest, you had the women's elimination chamber match, which was a number one contenders match of sorts, to determine the challenger for Bianca Belair and her Raw Women's Championship, because on the SmackDown side of things is already set with Rhea Ripley winning the Royal Rumble and wanting to challenge Charlotte Flair. So that's already set on the SmackDown side of things. So now it's time to set the Raw side of things. So your participants in the Raw Women's number one contender elimination chamber match were from Raw. You had Asuka, Carmella, and Nikki Cross, and then on SmackDown you had Liv Morgan, Natalia, and Raquel Rodriguez. So you know, it was a good elimination chamber match. Had some good spots in there, but ultimately Asuka ended up picking up the win and punching her ticket to face Bianca Belair at WrestleMania, and I find it's going to be a very interesting matchup, if you ask me, because Asuka, hasn't, for the last maybe I'd say 2 years has been kind of flailing on the WWE main roster and hasn't been doing anything. But I feel with this repackaging of her character and her reverting to the more darker side, which if you watched her in Japan, this was her persona, Dark Asuka, and she was damn near unbeatable. So yeah, I'm glad to have WWE has finally let her embrace the gimmick and bring it to the WWE side of things, which it exposes it to a whole new audience. So good for Asuka, and I'm looking forward to the matchup with her and Bianca Belair at WrestleMania for the Raw Women's Championship. Uh, Next up, you had Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar. This was the assuming the rubber match in the trilogy, but although it doesn't look that way from the finish of things. Pretty back and forth matchup. Brock ended up hitting a low blow on Bobby Lashley when he had him in the Hurt Lock, which is a version of a four Nelson hold for all the old school fans. Basically, you lock the person applying the move locks their hands on the trap muscles of the person, and has this is from a the person the applying the move goes behind the person that it's getting their opponent, and puts their hand on the trapezius muscles and just kind of has them in a lock position and just kind of squeezes, and until they submit. So that's the full Nelson. But it's a very difficult move to get out of. But Brock managed to do it when hitting a low blow on Bobby Lashley. So that ended in a disqualification, which left Brock angry, and he just caused a whole lot of havoc, similar to what he did at the Royal Rumble. So yeah, it doesn't look like that's over for right now. The rumor is that they are reforming the Hurt Business, Bobby Lashley's former stable, with alongside MVP Shelton Benjamin, Cedric Alexander, and a surprising new name that may be called up to the main roster soon, Carmelo Hayes. He's in NXT right now, but the rumor is they are going to call him up to the main roster and put him with the Hurt Business. So we have to see what happens there. I think that's a very, very interesting fit. Uh, so let's just see what happens there. Then, then you had the then you had the mixed tag match with Rhea Ripley and Finn Balor of the Judgment Day going up against Edge and Beth Phoenix. Uh, Edge and Beth Phoenix managed to pick up the win, and really really take it to the Judgment Day. I'm enjoying seeing Edge back. Not on a consistent basis because he's getting a little older now, but he's kind of been being saved as a special attraction. For this was a big preview because it's like right in the middle of WrestleMania season. So from like January to April when WrestleMania usually takes place, there's these big build-ups to WrestleMania via the premium live events and house shows or whatever it may be. So Edge has been back helping build toward WrestleMania. I don't know what his plans are for WrestleMania yet, but that remains to be seen. And then of course Beth Phoenix still looks amazing. One of the youngest WWE Hall of Famer uh, to get in there, and I always enjoyed watching Beth Phoenix's work because she was doing a lot of things that were ahead of her time back when she wrestled. Women weren't getting a lot of time in their matches on TV and everything like that, and she was in an era. She wrestled in an era where no matter how much the women got on TV, 3, 4, 5 minutes, whatever the case is, they made the most out of their opportunity, and it's so great to see how far women's wrestling has come since that time. So big ups to Beth Phoenix and the Judgment Day, Finn Balor and Rhea Ripley, and I love what they're doing, especially with Dominic Mysterio. Him spending hard time with this whole hard ex-con Dom gimmick, as they're calling it. Claiming that he spent hard time in jail, and he's tougher now, and he's got a whole new swagger to him. So I definitely dig what they're doing there. It's very entertaining. Dominic is a very entertaining individual, so big ups to him, and I hope he continues to do what he's doing because he's doing a very good job at it. And then on the other Elimination Chamber match, because there were two. This one was for the United States Championship, and you had Seth freaking Rollins, I should say. I keep forgetting to emphasize the freaking in there because they actually threw that in there. So it's Seth freaking Rollins. What do you call it? Johnny Gargano, Bronson Reed, Austin Theory, the champion. Montez Ford representing the Street Profits, and Damian Priest representing the Judgment Day. All six men did their thing, and Austin Theory managed to retain the championship due to Logan Paul interfering when it was just Austin Theory and Seth Rollins as the final two in the chamber. I would have loved to have seen Montez Ford win this because even though he did not win at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, that man is a star, and I hope that, no disrespect to Angelo Dawkins, his partner in the Street Profits, but I hope Montez gets a legit singles run because he damn sure deserves it, and he had a star-making performance at the Elimination Chamber. You know, so major props to Montez Ford and the other five men that stepped in that ring. And as for Logan Paul versus Seth Rollins, I think the everybody's gonna be pulling for Seth Rollins because love him or hate him though, I do gotta give him this. Logan Paul, he has picked up the business very fast, and he's getting good at what he does, man. So major props to him. Love him or hate him, like I said, I do respect what he's done in the short time that he's been in the business and wrestling for WWE. So And you also got to respect him for what he's done outside, man. The man has turned himself into a multimedia superstar, a mogul, businessman. So he's done a lot. But yeah, Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul at WrestleMania should be interesting. And in the main event, the coup de grace, as they say, was Sami Zayn versus Roman Reigns for the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship. And man, the build to this story, the bloodline and Sammy's involvement with the bloodline. Uh, some of the greatest. I think I mentioned this in my Royal Rumble review. Some of the greatest stuff that WWE has done in quite a while. So, I'm gonna be very, very sad when this when this whole storyline ends, and there's not gonna be another like it, man. I mean, as for the match itself, it was an absolute masterclass in Roman Reigns, I should say, put on an absolute masterclass in being a heel. From antagonizing Sammy's wife and family the whole time, to coming out first, because the champion usually comes out second. So in championship matches, but as of late, the champion has been coming out first, and Roman Reigns took full advantage of that. Playing pandering to the crowd, and he had massive boos. So he's got to be doing his job right. One of the first lessons that I was taught in the business was, it doesn't matter whether they're booing or cheering you. Be glad that they're doing that, because if they're not doing anything at all, they don't care. So that's one thing that I've carried with me, and so like I said, man, whether they're booing or cheering you, just be glad they're doing that. But yeah, man, it was an absolute the match. The match, I mean, of course, us wrestling fans that have been following the storylines know what was going to happen. We all knew that Sami Zayn wasn't going to win the match, but it damn sure felt at times where Sami had it, and that's the element of a good match. The element of a good wrestling match is suspending the belief of the audience. What's gonna happen. Sure, it's predetermined. The winners and losers are predetermined, but whatever happens out there, how you get to that point is the beautiful part of it. And Sammy had the crowd eating out of his hand, man. I want to say not even just this storyline. Ever since WrestleMania last year, when he was facing Johnny Knoxville, and that match, how fun that match was with Sami Zayn and Johnny Knoxville, and then for him to slowly progress into getting into the bloodline and stuff like that, it's just been an amazing year for Sami Zayn, and I'm glad, because he deserves it. Probably one of the most underrated talents of the business today. So good for Sami Zayn. I hope from here, because at the end, Jimmy Uso came out and beat down Sami Zayn, but Kevin Owens made the save. So it looks like they're setting up for Kevin Owens versus the Usos at WrestleMania for the Undisputed Tag Team Championship, and that's gonna be a hell of a show and hell of a match. And I just can't wait for WrestleMania. WrestleMania is one of my favorite pay-per-views, and I love the time of year because it's springtime, and then heading into summer. Yeah, I just love this time of year. It's a great time to be. It's a great time of year, and it's also a great time to be a wrestling fan. So, with that being said, man, Elimination Chamber was a great pay-per-view. If you haven't had the chance to check it out, and you're a fan of wrestling, man, go back and watch the replay on Peacock or in the WWE Network if you're not in the United States. Yeah, so with that being said, that is going to do it for this episode of the Classic Chronicles. Like, subscribe, share, and don't forget to hit that notification button so you don't miss a video. And I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.